Subscribing to The Observer on YouTube couldn't be easier, and we're going to show you exactly how to do that. First, navigate to www.youtube.com/TheObserverNJ. Once you get there, all you need to do is hit the subscribe button. Next to the subscribe button, click the down arrow and then all. And that's it. You're subscribed, and now anytime The Observer is live, you will be notified.
You can now listen to the Observer Live podcast in languages other than English. Here's how. First, click on the Settings tab right here. Then, look up for audio track and click on that. Then, scroll around for different languages, find the one that you want to hear everything in, and click on it. And it's that simple. Now you can listen to everything in the language of your choice on the Observer Live podcast. Hi again, everybody. It's Kevin Canessa coming to you live from the newsroom of The Observer and TheObserver.com on this 26th day of August in the year 2026. Sure hope you're enjoying your Tuesdays, no matter where it is you are in the country. A beautiful day here in the Northeast, and let's talk about it with the one and only Tony Mondero of the Harrison Weather Center. Good afternoon, Tony.
Good afternoon, Kevin. Ready for some more rain?
Ready for rain. So when is that? Is that today, tomorrow? When is that coming?
Happens tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow evening. And again, timing's not perfect because we're going to have the rush hour and into tomorrow night. Tomorrow, I think it's more location where you're at and where the axis of this heaviest rain sets up. It's not etched in stone. The verdict's still out where the heaviest rain will be, but we'll be possibly close enough to have some issues around the rush hour tomorrow. Well, weather, Kevin, fit for ducks.
Oh, ducks. Speaking of which, we got the Imus quack to go here, right? I've always wanted to use that. I just got a chance to use it.
Absolutely. But before we get there, nice weather. We've had a couple of nice days, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Unfortunately, the humidity is returning a little bit today. We're in the mid-80s today, may top up around 85 degrees. And for those with the home barometer, 30.05 it should be reading. And that'll be falling off over the next couple of days. And after we get through Thursday with highs once again in the 80s and highs in the 80s through the weekend, but less humidity for Saturday and Sunday. Saw a little bit of a clearing trend on Friday. Tropics remain quiet, which is good. And believe it or not, the next hurricane or tropical storm name, Kevin, Dolly. Believe it or not.
You got to be kidding me. What about the irony of that, right? Wow. Mm-hmm. But it's strange enough that it's Dolly, but is it odd that we are here, it's August 26th, and we're only up to D? Is it usually this slow, Tony?
Usually starts ramping up this time of the year, Kev, but the long-range hurricane forecasters, both at NOAA and Colorado State University, said it was going to be a pretty quiet year. And looking out there in the basin, the Atlantic Basin, which covers the Atlantic Ocean and the Gulf of Mexico, right now it's been pretty quiet. There's a couple of disturbances that we're monitoring, but nothing within the next couple of weeks that will, impact anyone, at this time along the eastern seaboard, which is pretty good news, for the end of August.
It really is. And when you consider tomorrow, I believe, is the 21st anniversary of the beginning of Katrina. And, here we think about that. That's a K. We're only into the D's now. So I guess we really are fortunate to be where we are at this point in time, huh?
We'll take it. And remember, Kev, it doesn't make a difference about El Nino, La Nina, or whatever. It only takes one storm to hit you to make you an active year. And those out there, especially if you live along the Passaic River, if you live in the area of the Hackensack River, always have a plan B, God forbid, if you did have to evacuate, where to go. Now's the time to plan a family emergency evacuation kit. Now's the time, not the eve of a storm, when you have sunny days and nothing going on. And that's for all weather elements. I think we preach, Kev, almost every week. Just be weather aware. You don't have to be like me, doing the weather every single second, but have some weather situational awareness, especially if you're a runner or do outdoor activities, and not only for you, but for elderly that may go out, and also for your pets as well. Remember, Kev, if you're walking your dog, out there on the sidewalk, and it's hot outside, just think about their paws and their paw pads, with the concrete and
Right.
asphalt. It's pretty hot.
Since we're talking about that, what kind of things would you suggest people put in a kit for an evacuation, or God forbid something like this would ever happen?
I would go and get yourself a nice tub. Put like stuff that could be food that you can eat at almost any time. Snacks, water is very important. Some first aid supplies in a sealed container. All important. Paperwork, especially that you don't want to get flooded out or get wet. Stuff like that. Have that in a moment's notice to slip that in. Important telephone numbers, important insurance information. God forbid if you ever need it. Things that you can, a couple of tubs that you can take with you real fast. And I believe FEMA says to have at least 5 to 7 days worth of, supplies on hand. It's always good. It's always free. And if you're stuck what to put in your kit, you always go to either FEMA or the Red Cross websites. Just put FEMA emergency, family emergency kit or plan, and also Red Cross. Two very good organizations that can help you out setting those up.
Do they also suggest like meals ready to eat or stuff like that? Like, how does that all work?
Absolutely. I believe you can actually purchase those online now, but it's anything that can keep you going. Medication is also very important to have on hand. Basic stuff that you would need. You might, like I said, need a couple of bins. Things that you would carry around, like when you're moving and stuff like that. I wouldn't use a box. I use maybe some plastic that could be sealed that can't
Right.
get wet. Something like that. But hopefully we don't need that anytime soon. I know there's been some play on social media about flooding in certain areas, and I think Kev, that the big thing is when you see that there's a flood watch or we're talking about flooding, try to avoid those areas if at all possible, like the Rogers Boulevards, like the Passaic and Johnson Avenues, like the River Roads of the world and Riverside Avenue and the Belleville Turnpike out, by the Hackensack River, anything, or even like in Lyndhurst, Polito Avenue, anything that floods of Rutherford, Highland Cross, that area.
Right.
Try to avoid those areas, especially when heavy rain is forecast, because it's coming quick, or it's actually raining real hard. You could bet your bottom dollar, get very heavy rainfall rates. Those places are going to flood.
I'm glad you bring that up too, because so often we see cars floating in areas where there's always flooding issues too, so it really is important. Tony's telling you there's going to be floods in a certain area. Stay the hell out of that area. You're just asking for it, and it doesn't have to be all that much water really to cause a big issue. We see it over there by the Harrison Path station now. How quickly that fills up, and it's not even all that high when you really look at it, but it's enough to do enough damage to keep cars from being able to get through and having to float away. So I'm so glad you brought that up, Tony, because it's too often that people don't heed that advice, and there's a reason why you're giving the advice. Listen to it, right?
Absolutely, Kevin. And not only are you putting yourselves in harm's way, but also the rescuers that have to come and pluck you out of those waters. Put them in harm's way. That they have to launch boats or having
Right.
put themselves their lives in peril. Trying to rescue you. And thankfully, in this area, we have solid emergency services to handle that. And a lot of these emergency services have us as their weather consultant, and we let them know. Like Harrison knows an hour to 2 hours ahead of time that heavy rain is moving into the area, and so does Kearney, Lyndhurst, North Arlington, and also Rutherford and Lyndhurst.
If you're just joining us, Tony Mondero of the Harrison Weather Center is with us, as he is every week when we do our live broadcast. Tony, what else this summer? It's been pretty, well, how would you rank this summer? Has it been a pretty decent and calm summer, all things considered, or where does it rank in the all-time summers that we've had around here?
Well, I don't know about rankings yet, Kev, because it's not over yet. We still have a few weeks to go, even though meteorological autumn begins September 1st. So we still got a couple more days to go before it's out. But to me, it's been a hot summer, 106 degrees back in early July. It has been it was a very warm June to not hot June, and also a very wet summer as well. So far this month, we've had 9.21 inches of rain,
Wow.
which is about 8 inches, 7 to 8 inches above normal. So I think if we keep with rain like that, we're going to see these drought restrictions thankfully ease.
Yeah, you were mentioning that last week, and it seemed like we had even more. So we're getting closer and closer to seeing the drought restrictions ease. So that is certainly good. What else is going on, Tom? Everything else is good in your world, I hope?
Well, I'll tell you some good news here, and I'll share with you that we didn't talk about in the production meeting is the Harrison Weather Center is going to be getting an air quality sensor here. That's going to happen sometime during the autumn, probably sometime in September or October. We'll be able to go out and mount it. And this
Mhm.
is in cooperation with Hudson County Regional Health Department. Me and Kerry Nowicki have been talking about putting a sensor here to see how this purple. It's made by Purple Air, so it's
Good.
going to be on the Purple Air map. And what's good, Kevin, the information that we get from that sensor is going to be able to be used from anyone in the area. That's number one. And number two, when we have smoke or fire conditions with smoke in the area, we'll be able to transmit that data on a map. And the best thing of all, Kevin, it's free for anybody to take a look at on the World Wide Web. So when that is established, we'll have an announcement here and also a link. I'm sure you'll provide the link and also
Yeah.
a link on the Harrison Weather Center site where you can get that information. So pretty exciting. Right now, any air quality sensors are well to our east, locally in the Jersey City and Hoboken area. We'll finally have something here in West Hudson County.
So when we go on to the app that you suggested, Air Now, will they now be getting their readings for Harrison Kearney from the Harrison Weather Center? Is that how that will work, or?
Yeah, it'll be integrated with Air Now as well, so with their sensors too.
Yeah, because I guess that's very great. It's great to hear that because generally, like you mentioned, Jersey City, there's reads there. So whatever Jersey City's numbers are basically are what we're going to have here. Now we might actually see a difference between the numbers in Jersey City and here because of what you're doing. Now, how did you get this rolling? Like, how did this all come to be?
This is something we've been talking about, Kevin, for the last couple of years, and some
Right.
funding became available, and we said, "Hey, let's do it. Let's finally get something here to measure the pollutants in the atmosphere." And it's a pretty easy install too. It's not going to really take too much resources up to do it,
Right.
and we think, yeah, when it works good, and it does work good, then Hudson Regional may put one in every municipality. That's the goal, to have every municipality in Hudson County with one of these air sensor sites. But we wanted to use Harrison Weather Center and Harrison here as the so-called guinea pig for the project. And I think it's going to be work well.
So where will it actually go? Is it going to go somewhere inside by your garden, or like does it go on the roof of the building? How does that all work?
Right, but siding is very important. That's a great question. You got to be able to have air around this thing 24, 24/7, 365, and it has to go around the whole entire sensor. So we couldn't mount it on a wall. So we had to get a special mount for it. It's going to stick off the side of the weather center, the antenna poles here, and it's going to be wired into the weather center, not outside. So God forbid if there was any rainfall or anything like that, we don't have to worry about the sensor shorting out, say in a rainstorm.
Tremendous, absolutely tremendous. And it's not costing you a penny, not costing the taxpayer a penny. And that's where this just gets better and better and better every time something new and innovative coming to the Harrison Weather Center. Great job, Tony. That's really, really
Yeah,
good news.
yeah, thank you, Kevin. Yeah, and I think I should say too, thankfully for the GoFundMe, donations. We're using some of those funds too to fund for the sensor as well. So it was the right time, and we're waiting because right now, if you take a look behind us, there's a conditioner in the window. You
Right.
take that air conditioner out, we have access to that flat roof. And it's a smaller one that we're using this year because, God forbid, our biggest fear, Kevin, in a thunderstorm is ever getting a direct lightning strike here at the Weather Center. We have a lot of antennas. A lot of them are plastic and stuff like that, and there's some higher stuff around us that maybe that would be attracted to. But that's the only thing I'm very nervous about when I see that wall of lightning coming by to our west. I just pray that we never get struck. We've had some pretty close calls, especially this summer. We had a very close call, too close for me.
Oh God, oh God. Now, for those of us who are geographically deficient, like me, tell me, the air conditioner that we see in the window back there, is that Davis Avenue side, or is that on the inside of the weather center? Where are we facing right now?
Right. So how I face the camera is toward Davis Avenue. So in the back of us would be Malone Place and Patterson Street. So if we take that window air conditioner out, we're actually looking at all of our antennas and our wind instrumentation. Thankfully, outside that window is a flat roof, and we have a safety rail that was put around the flat roof thanks to the town of Harrison. They allowed that to happen. So we would be safe, God forbid, if we have to, ever change anything out up there. And that's one good thing. Harrison has always supported this weather center via either the school system, the town fathers, the mayor and council, all the way back to Frank Rogers. They always support the Harrison, I should say the award-winning Harrison Weather Center.
Tremendous. Absolutely tremendous. Good stuff. A few people have just joined us. Give us a little bit of a recap again of what we could expect for the rest of the week going into the weekend and in the coming days.
Absolutely, Kev. Well, the rest of today is going to be fine. High temperatures in the 80s. Nice southwest wind, about 10 to 15 miles per hour. Currently, we're 84.7 degrees here. And for tomorrow, we're watching a possibility of some rain showers and thunderstorms developing. I think the morning's fine, but watching the afternoon and evening. And once again, we can get some flooding. Don't be surprised if the weather headlines are issued by the National Weather Service. We may see a watch later. We may see some severe weather watches go up later as well, especially for tomorrow. For Thursday, we kind of dig out of it a little bit as the cold front goes by. So any rain showers end, we start to transition to drier weather. And then a nice weekend, everybody, with sunny, dry conditions with high temperatures in the low 80s, low humidities, and nice evenings with low temperatures in the 60s.
Tremendous forecast. It's always tremendous to be able to spend time with you each and every week. Let's do it again next week, even though it's kind of like the end of the road, but we're going to make things work coming into the fall, even though you have to go back to school. Do you believe you have to go back to school already?
Unbelievable, Kevin. Remember, everybody, like Kevin wants everybody to do. I know I have. You should do this too. Like and subscribe.
We're almost at 1,000. We are just a few short of 1,000, and that's what our goal is. Once we get there, we're going to be good to go. So thank you for reminding everybody of that, and we'll see you next week. How's that sound?
Absolutely, my pleasure. Have a good program, Kevin.
Thanks, Tony. See you later. There he is, the one and only Tony Mondaro of the Harrison Weather Center. Great stuff from him, as always. Just a couple of things that I want to get to today, just briefly today. This is first as a reminder that a couple of weeks ago, Kearney Police Chief Scott McPhee wanted to remind residents to come and pick up their parking permits, or if they don't, by the 15th of September, they're going to face summonses, and they could have their cars towed. The permits are available. You can find them over at the Kearney Police Headquarters, 237 Laurel Avenue, between 8 a.m. and 4 p.m. every day, sometimes 5 p.m. too, depending on the day. And if you don't get yours, a lot of people got these permits but just never picked them up. You're going to wind up getting a ticket. And if it keeps happening habitually, your car will get towed, and then you're going to complain. So if you still haven't picked up your permit, please go over to police headquarters and get it, especially if you paid for it. It's just a waste. You absolutely need it, and they're going to be enforcing come the 15th day of September. So make sure you get that squared away. Now, this final thing that I wanted to mention is for anybody who is the parent or guardian of somebody going into the 7th grade or who may be transferring to Lincoln Middle School in the next week or so. There is an open house, a student orientation this Thursday, which is tomorrow, from 9:30 until about 11 a.m. There wasn't much notice out there. I just got this from the principal, Jim Hempel, the other day, and we did put it in the paper, but we wanted to remind anybody who may be the mom, dad, or guardian of an incoming seventh grader or somebody who is new to the district and going to Lincoln School for the first time, that this special orientation will take place Thursday morning over at Lincoln Middle School. I'm going to tell you something. The things that go on at Lincoln Middle School are second to none. Jim Hempel is one of the finest principals I've ever known in my life. He is just so good with the young people of Lincoln Middle School, and he does so much out-of-the-box work with these kids. And I'm sure it's going to be another great school year over there at Lincoln. But if you need to, make sure your kids are there tomorrow. And it's an important way to get to know some of the people. They also say if you have a lock, to bring it. They don't want combination locks for whatever reason. They want ones that have the 1 through 9 with a 3 or 4 digit code, one of those, or a lock and key, not a combination though, like those old school ones that you would see so often when you were younger. I don't know why that is, but that's the kind of locks that they want people to use this year. So if you can, bring a lock with you as well if you're sending your kid over to the orientation tomorrow at Lincoln Middle School. And believe it or not, that's going to do it for this week's edition of the Observer Live. I want to thank all of you for joining us today. I didn't get a chance to say hello to anybody yet, so let me do that right now. I see our Lisa is here. Pat Long is also here. Good to see you, Patty. Lorraine Sanfilippo is here. Mayor Dan Pronti, the mayor of North Arlington, is also with us. Chris Brown, my friend from the Elks, is also here, and Lori Bradow is also here with us today. Thank you so much for joining us. And to anybody who may be watching in the background, I see you. I do. And I thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Every single one of you who can't really talk in the middle of the day because you're at the office or whatever it is that you're doing, I get it. I really do. I appreciate you watching each and every week. We will be back 1 week from today, unless anything breaks in between now and then, at which point we will join you live with breaking news if necessary. So from the newsroom of The Observer and TheObserver.com, it's Kevin Canessa. I'm signing off for now. We hope to see you back here again very, very soon. Take care, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your day. We'll see you next week. Bye.